Hello disciples, Donkey here, and today we are taking a deep dive into my Unstoppable Strand Hunter build. And this right here is what we were going for, so just take a look.
Alright, I'm just kidding. That was pretty cool though, but this is what's supposed to happen.
So this build has great ad clearing potential, as well as an ability to constantly create thousands of strand tangles and do high damage to yellow bar enemies. So without further delay, let's get into it. Starting off with the build, we have our one and only Silk Strike Super, Marksman's Dodge, Triple Jump, Threaded Spike, and Shackle Grenade. Our aspects are Threaded Spectre and Whirling Maelstrom. For the fragments, we have Thread of Mind, Wisdom, Warding, and Transmutation. Moving on to our armor mods, we have a Heavy Ammo Finder, Heavy Ammo Scout, and Dual Void Strand Siphon on the helmet. Our arms will have Fastball, Heavy-Handed, and Grenade Kickstart. The chest piece has 2 resistance mods and Charged Up. For the legs, which is also our exotic, we have Double Surge mods and Recuperation. Lastly, our class item will have Time Dilation and Utility Kickstart. Moving on to the weapons, we have our exotic Quicksilver Storm, which is extremely good for just about every scenario. Nessa's Oblation for our energy slot, and having destabilizing rounds is a must for this build. Our heavy is, well, of course, Commemoration. Machine guns are so strong right now, especially with the recent damage buffs, and a crafted roll reconstruction killing tally is extremely good if you can get it. For our artifact mods, we are using Thana Tangles, Elemental Fury, Communal Pickups, Refreshing Pickups, Monochromatic Maestro, and Elemental Munitions. Feel free to pause the video and take a screenshot, or click on the dim link down below to get the build. Alright, so let's break down how this build works and see how well our abilities complement each other. Starting off with our abilities, getting a grenade or melee kill will spawn a tangle and an orb of power. You can either shoot or pick up and throw the tangle to activate the Whirling Maelstrom aspect, which will rip our Beyblade into enemies for a few seconds. And yes, it does track them. If you are lucky enough to have a large group of enemies nearby, that single tangle Beyblade can create another tangle which you can also shoot, and so on. Basically, this could create an endless cycle of tangle ripping Beyblades all over the battlefield if you are lucky enough. Now alongside of that tangle we made at the beginning, we also pooped out an Orb of Power. This is where all 4 of our fragments complement each other. Killing a suspended enemy will create that orb and give us class ability energy. Picking up the orb gives us Woven Mail, and finally, while Woven Mail is active, any weapon kill will spawn a tangle. It's one perfect cycle of fragments that can keep repeating itself over and over again. So we already have a couple ways to generate tangles and those OP Beyblades, but let's also talk about the class ability aspect and how it pairs so well with our exotic. The Threaded Spectre aspect will spawn in a decoy of yourself when you dodge. Think of this like the monkey bombs in Call of Duty Zombies. The ads will target the decoy as well as walk towards it. Now when you throw in your exotic legs, the bombardiers, on dodge it will pop out a mini nuke, and when it hits the ground, or our decoy in this case, it will explode and cause enemies around it to become severed, which will lower their damage output. This blast will also blow up our decoy, and in doing so will cause even more damage and pop out 2 threadlings which can go after any stragglers. This is pretty great to throw out your shackle grenade, dive headfirst into a group of enemies, instantly back out using dodge, and then watch the fireworks. That's a quick overview of our abilities, so let's jump into how our weapons come into play. Quicksilver Storm is great and well-rounded for just about every activity in Destiny 2. The weapon is Strand once you get the catalyst finished, and it has 3 different firing modes on it. Of course, you have your normal auto rifle damage, but if you consistently land shots, it will pop out a micro rocket, which will deal additional damage, and load a grenade, up to 3, for your alternate firing mode. If you do complete the catalyst, you can also create tangles from kills with the grenades. Of course, we know all about what will happen when you get a tangle, so this is our last additional way to create tangles with the build. So many tangles! The weapon is also good for champion DPS with a grenade mode, and can be a decent boss damaging gun if you run out of heavy ammo. Nessa's Oblation really plays a key role in the build, allowing a wombo combo of void and strand damage. Simply run into a group of enemies and smack one of them with a shotgun, or whatever weapon has your destabilizing rounds. This will spread the volatile to the surrounding enemies, and then your dodge out with the bombardiers will trigger the additional void detonations. Having the slug shotgun with our major spec can also dish out some damage if you ever find yourself in a pickle and up close and personal with a yellow bar enemy. Lastly, our commemoration is, well, amazing. Machine guns received a small damage buff a few seasons ago, and they are still kicking butt. Whip it out to melt down just about anything in your way. So that's the build in a nutshell. Run around causing tons of chaos, throwing out loads of tangles, and dealing high damage to everyone around you. Have fun ripping Beyblades and busting all over the place with your sticky green goop. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and if you have any questions about the build, or if you would like to see any specific exotic worked into a build. Until then, be sure to subscribe for free, and follow along for more Destiny 2 content, and we will see you in the next one.